What up, Snack Pack? How's it going on this Thursday evening? I hope everybody's doing great. And by everybody, I see Grant. Hi, Grant. I didn't know we were having a private chat right now. Excuse me. But this is a impromptu live stream, which I have a story to tell today, and I'll get to it in a few minutes. But actually, I have a couple stories that I wanted to share. Hey, just one night. How's it going? But before we get into all that, how's everybody doing? How are you really doing? How are you feeling? Because I've been hearing from a lot of people that like a lot of people are just feeling out of sorts. And it just seems like it's been going that way for quite a while, that like many people are just feeling, I don't know, just kind of exhausted or just feeling like things aren't quite right, like there's something's missing. And I think part of that could be, and this is not a political channel, this is a fun time channel. But I think some of it does have to do with the collective of what we all experienced during the pandemic, because there was a lot of things. I'm not going to go into all of it, but like there was a lot of isolation, there was a lot of anger, there was a lot of trying to figure out what was going on. And also, there was a lot going on in the world at that time too. But I think a lot of people have lost their trust in themselves, because what we thought we knew, we're like, well, wait a minute, maybe I don't know that. So anyway, I say all that to say, how are you feeling? Because I really want to be an encourager and somebody that lifts other people up, because there's so many people that are tearing each other down. So I just would rather be a peacemaker, a peacekeeper, and somebody that, even though I like to speak to the truth, I also want to encourage, because, like, life is hard and we need each other. Also, thank you for the 7 likes. And if you're already on here, you might as well join those 7 likes and, pop that number up on the screen. So yeah, there's just been a lot going on. And let's see. Awesome. Grant is doing fine. You're missing summer. Yeah, I bet with snow. I bet you are missing summer. Hey, Rebecca, how are you? Yes, surprise. Cheryl's in the house. Hi, Cheryl. Yeah, it's good to see familiar faces. And whoa, chill. I'm actually going to talk about that, Rebecca, in just a few minutes. There's been a couple things that's just been, kind of on my mind, and just trying to figure some things out, because, I came here to Texas, and, I came during the holidays. So it was, how the holidays are, just a whirlwind, people going here and there, and, just the whole thing. And, moving from pretty much a constant on the road, and then through the summer, I was living in one city, and then pretty much 6 months later, moving to another city, and then just really having to start over again with like furniture and everything. It's really been a lot. And within that time frame, I'm like, I got to keep the channel going. But, I am really trying not to be that person that's like, okay, I'm just going to make things just for the sake of making things, when I don't really have anything to say, or the things I have to say, I'm just kind of like saying it just to get a video out. So I'm really trying to be more thoughtful about what I put out on the interwebs. But one thing that happened was, pretty much right when I got here, right after the holidays, Texas had a snowstorm, like a ice storm, which I've been a part of a couple Texas ice storms. for the past few years, because somebody in the comments was like, why does this girl always go to Texas knowing like during that time there's going to be an ice storm? It's because I have family here and I usually go for Christmas, for the holidays. So, when you go somewhere during a cold season, you're going for holidays, you're going to be around family. So it's not like I'm being like, you know what, I think I'm going to wait till it snows and then I'm going to go there. No. Um, but basically, you know, had this like ice snow situation happen. And even though I did prepare my van for the most part, as much as I felt like I could, um, there was things that just went awry. Also, before I left to come here, like right before I came here, my Max Air fan died. And for those that don't know what a Max Air fan is, it's the fan that's in the roof of my van. So when my dad and I built my van, we cut a hole in the roof and dropped it in there and then sealed it with butyl tape and sealed it up with, marine sealant or whatever. That fan has been working great all this time. And then, well, actually it started tripping when I was in Vegas, but then before I came here, I went to my parents' house so my dad and I could look at that. And we were doing some research on it, and I found this video that was talking about like when you have a lithium battery that I don't know, I'm not a technician here, but just go with me on this, that the load, like the lithium is too strong for the fan. So you need to put in this little like DC to DC component, which is like not expensive. It was like, I don't know, I'm just making this up, like $15 on Amazon. So I ordered it. My dad and I installed it. We put a new fuse in the the fuse block because it's 12 volt, and put the fan back, put the plate back up there and started it up. And like within a minute, the alarm was going off again of the fan. And so looking up on YouTube, just like looking up those videos, like what is the green light of death, and that squealing sound, this like alarm sound. And that's what it was saying, is you have to, fix that kind of component. But we wired it in, but it just wouldn't work. And thank you for the heart emojis. I appreciate that. So I wrote to the company and I was like, this is what's happening. It's the green light. And they were like, okay, you need to, unscrew the plate, bring the fan down, which you can't bring it all the way down. It just kind of like tilts down. Take out the 2-prong plug and then try to use the buttons that make it faster or slower and see if that works, which to my mind, I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't know how you could do that when it's not plugged in. I don't know. So I was going to do that. So that was broken. And then during right before, like, I don't know if it was right before or during like after the snow, my reading light would not turn off. Like it just wouldn't turn off. So I had to take the fuse out in order for it to stop, to turn off. And then the biggest and worst thing that was happening was I couldn't tell what was happening with my battery. I was like, did my battery die? Did the heating mechanism not turn on when it was that cold? Because my charge controller had a code and it didn't matter what button I pressed, it would not go away. And my inverter had an alarm sound. It just wouldn't, like if I switched it on, it would just squeal, just like an alarm. So there was like all these things. And then, with the weather, and I was trying to paint my van and, redecorate and all these things. And I was just like, I just feel stressed out. Like this is too many things. And in the past, I would, be closer to California and I could go to my parents' house and my dad and I would work on things together. But by me being so far away now, I was like, I got to figure this out on my own. Like, this sucks. And I fixed things by myself on the road many times, but it was usually like one thing at a time. And even though it kind of sucked, it was just like, I got to do it because I'm living in this van. But I just got to this place where I was just like, when too many things are happening, it's almost like I need to step back. I literally cannot take another thing because there's a lot of other things happening as well. And so I was just like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just not going to do anything. So I don't know if you've ever felt like that, where you're you're just not going to do it, even though you know you need to do it. You just almost like putting on blinders or like crawling under the covers and just like, if I just hide under these blankets, it's almost like it's not there, but you know it's there. But I just every day was passing and I'm just like, I haven't made any videos. I haven't made any travel plans because I really can't because, things aren't working in the van. And it just was like such a downer for me because I was already excited, to get some travels, get some things going. And it just like bummed me out. So, anyways, I was talking to my friend, um, and she was telling me about this book. It's called Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. Now, I've never read this book, but I was like, what does that mean? And she's like, basically, the premise of the book, and forgive me if I'm wrong because I never read the book, but she's like, the premise of this book is that basically it's how to help you to overcome procrastination. And it's like sometimes you just have to eat that frog, like basically like do the hard thing, do the gross thing, do the thing that's like you don't want to do, but you need to do it. You know you need to do it. Sometimes you just have to suck it up. And I've heard other phrases like, I'm not going to cuss, but like poop sandwich, like you sometimes you just got to eat that poop sandwich, or, bite the bullet, or, take your, medicine, your bitter pill, and it was like, I was like, this week, I'm like, you have to do something. You have to. So I chose a day, and then I was like, that day is your eat the frog day, eat the poop sandwich day. Like you have to go down to the van and figure these things out. Like no matter what, you got to suck it up. Even if it's hard, you have to do it. And I was dreading it. Like it was like, in my mind, it just felt so heavy and so stressful, especially the electrical system, because I like, okay, so in my van, all my electrical components are under my bed and they're screwed onto the wheel well covers. It's like the wooden box that we built. It's bolted on. So those aren't easy to get to. And if I had to rebuild my van again, I would have built it differently. But we did the best we could at the time with the knowledge we had and the skills we had. And we were just like, these things are going to last. So it's just whatever. But when both the charge controller and the inverter went out, and then the battery was just like like a zero reading, I'm like, I don't know how to fix this. So I was actually thinking like, maybe I need to call like a mobile RV tech, or like take it somewhere because I don't really know how to fix this. So, so anyways, I chose a day and I was like, okay, you just need to do it. So I went down, and the first thing I already knew I could fix was the reading light, because it was the actual reading light, I think, was faulty. So I was able to just replace it, and it wasn't a basic fix, because that's another thing. Another thing we did is like, I don't know, we just did things because I think there was times where we did things because we had certain materials and we didn't want to run up to Home Depot. So we had these like connectors, but we put them together like the two wires like this, and then put the thing on there instead of using butt connectors and then pushing it into the wall, you know, which would have made it easier to get out. But no, like the hole is like this big, and I had to get those two things like out of there without ripping the wire out of the wall. It was not easy, but anyways, I resolved that. That's working. Okay. All right. And then That took a little bit of time. Then I was like, okay, let's focus on this fan because I need to get back to this company about um, once I take this little plug out, like, is it still working? So, but before I did that, I was like, let me just see, let me just see about this. So I turned the fan on, and at first it was working, but then within like 20 seconds, it just shut down. There wasn't even an alarm. It just literally shut down. And then I couldn't press any buttons, nothing would work. So I was just like, that's weird. Because before there was an alarm and a green light. So I was just like, I'm just like, you know, I don't know. I don't know what to do. So I was like, let me just put a pause on that for a second. And then, because I was like, because in my mind I was thinking, like, if it doesn't work at all, I don't think I could test it. So, anyways, I was like, let me see what I could do about this battery situation, the electrics. And I bought a multimeter, which I don't really even know how to use, but I was thinking, like, if I could put that on the battery and just see if it's registering, like, is the battery dead? Like, and so this multimeter that I bought from Amazon, it came with batteries, but the battery compartment was screwed in with a screw that had a Phillips head, but it was like it required one of those like small screwdrivers, which I'm sure I have somewhere, but I just don't know where that is. So I'm like, why would you send a product with the batteries, but I can't get into the battery compartment to put the batteries in? So that actually kind of pissed me off. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to even keep this. So I'm going to send it back because it just bothered me. And I wasn't going to go buy like a tiny screwdriver for no reason, just to, anyways, to do that. So my, um, my like Renegy system, my electric system, it, it, um, it has Bluetooth. So I have the app on my phone. And when the snowstorm and all that was happening, it wasn't registering at all, like not even anything. It just wouldn't even register. So I was like, let me just check it out. So I turn on the app and it's fully charged. The battery's fully charged. And I'm like, what? Like this whole time it's just been like not working. So then I go back inside the van and crawl under the bed and look at the charge controller. And this whole time, I promise you, it had this error. It has ARC, which on the website has like a few different things. It was the error has been there this whole time. And the error was gone and the screen was working as normal. I was like, I, I don't even know what to say. Like, it's a straight miracle. Like, I don't even know what happened, how it's working. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. So then I was like, okay, well, so I was looked at that. And so that when I was down there, I saw that the fuse for the fan was red. So that means that some kind like the fuse popped or whatever. But I had already changed that fuse. So I was like, well, let me just put a new fuse in. So I put a new fuse in, and now the fan is just working. It's just working. It's just working. Like I let it go. Like I put it on exhaust and blowing, and it just worked. So I was like, what is going on? And I was happy. I was like, this frog isn't as chewy as I thought it was going to be. So the reading light's working, the fan is working, the battery's working, and the charge controller's working. So the last thing, which is like the heaviest thing on my mind, was the inverter, because I didn't really want to have to pay for a new inverter. And plus it's going to be hard to get off that board because it's connected to things and it's just the whole thing. So what I did is I okay, so the inverter has two plugs. The first plug powers all of my outlets, like the one in my kitchen area and the one next to my bed. So anytime I plug in like my Ninja Foodie or a curling iron or anything, my coffee maker, those are one set of outlets on that plug. And the other plug is solely for the outlet that I plug my refrigerator in. my mini fridge. So what I did is I turned the inverter on, and of course it was squealing. So then I just unplugged both of the plugs, and then I tested individually. So I plugged one of them in, and I went into the van and plugged in my coffee maker, and it worked. Okay, so it's not that plug. So I plugged that back in. Then I plug the other plug in, and the alarm goes off. So I was like, I've deduced that the problem is with my mini fridge, with the plug for my mini fridge. And thank you for the emojis. So the plug for my mini fridge is under the fridge behind the toilet. So, I have to pull the toilet out, move it over to the side, crawl on my belly, and it's only this wide. So I was just crawling there, and I just pulled the plug out, and then I just plugged it, it was on the bottom plug. I just plugged it into the top plug, go back to the back of the van, plug that plug back into the inverter, turn the inverter on, fixed. Magical. Fixed. I was like, I don't know how that happened. I don't know how it happened that outlet caused that to happen, and that I just needed to unplug and plug it back in. And there's no what is it called? CGFI or whatever. There's none of that. We didn't do that. It's just a regular outlet. So I was just in awe that all these things just just were working. And I've been stressing out about this since this happened. And I tell you what, that morning when I woke up and I knew that this was going to be the day, I laid in bed. I was just begging God for mercy, because I was just please, Lord, I am at my wit's end. I don't know what to do. I'm just one person. I don't have all these skills. If it's something really complicated, I don't know. It was just stressing me out. And I tell you what, I was just one of my first instincts was to okay, but what if it, and I'm like, no, stop that. It's fixed. Don't go backwards. Don't get the blessing and then be like, yeah, but it might break again. Don't do that. Because it's why? Just accept the blessing. So then I was just oh my gosh, all this heavy stress that I've been feeling just came over me. And so I just locked up the van, and I was like, that's it for the day. It's all fixed. I'm going, back to my apartment, and I'm just going to relax, because I was just so stressed out. And so as I was walking upstairs to my apartment, I just started crying. I was just oh my gosh, just flooded. And I was the first person I needed to call was my dad, because we worked on this van together, and he knew that what I was going through, and he was just man, I wish I was there to help you. And I was you know just bummed out, because usually we work on things together in the van. We fix things together. That's our thing, is we figure it out. And I just didn't have him here. And I just started crying, and then I just called my dad, and I was like, Dad. And he's like, what's happening? And I was like, no, it's fine. But, and then my mom's in the background, what's happening? Why is she crying? And I was like, I I don't know how, but it must be God, because it's everything's fixed. And I told him this whole story that I just told you. And he's like, oh my gosh, praise the Lord. Oh my gosh, we were so worried about you and what you're going through. And oh my gosh, I was just crying. And I was just thinking, man, God does give mercy. If you ask and you cry out to God, it's he hears you. And it's I'm not saying that God's a genie, he's not a magic wand, but it's just sometimes in your most stressed out times, it's sometimes all you can do is just be I don't know. I just need help. I don't know what else. And so, I talked to my dad for a while, and, I just feel so much better now that the van is fixed. And I went out, went in the van a few other times and drove it around, and things seem to, appear to be fine. So then, I took a day and then I'm just like, oh, okay, whoa, like now things are fixed. Like I can start planning my trips and I can start doing a few more things. And, so, but then I was started to stress out. I'm like, but I didn't make a video this week because I was just stressed out and like I just, whatever. But, God's so perfect, so it's just like, I'm not going to worry about it. So then I was like, well, I haven't done a live stream in a while. And, you know, I want to connect with my snack pack friends. And during the time that I was just stressed out, I just didn't feel like I just like mentally could even come on because I was just like so stressed out about it. But it's been a few days since all the things are fixed. And, I went back and got my, for those that watched the video, like I started to paint my van cabinets and it was the wrong color. I did go back to Home Depot and get them to like add in a little bit more beige. I still don't know if it's like a great color because I haven't tried it yet. But it could just still be like pretty white, but because on like when they dip their finger and they put it on the top of the lid, it still looks pretty light. But I think it's a little bit more beige slightly, but I'm going to be, working on that. And that shouldn't take that long. Like I bought a sanding block. So this time I think what I'm going to do is sand it down like a real quick sanding so that, excuse me, so that when I paint, it won't be as like painting like smooth over smooth. It'll have like a little bit of roughness. So I'm going to try to do that either tomorrow or at the latest Monday because Saturday I have plans and then Sunday is the Super Bowl. But I don't really know if I have that many plans on the Super Bowl. So if not, maybe I'll do it then. But anyway, I say all that to say that we can do hard things and, be patient with yourself because things are not easy, especially on your own, but you can do it. Just use the resources that you have and just do the best you can. And I'm really, really grateful that God had mercy on me and that he fixed it. Like I claim no anything because I'm just like on my own. I just didn't know what to do. But I know that a lot of people are going through a lot of hard times, and just be patient with yourself and just do the best you can. And then pick a day and be like, this is my eat the frog day, eat the poop sandwich day, take that bitter pill day, whatever you want to call it. Because sometimes you just have to get, like just do it. Sometimes you just have to do it. And every morning when I'd wake up, I'd be like, okay, well, today's going to be the day. No, I had to do it ahead of time, like the day before. So I'm like mentally prepared when I first wake up. So hopefully that helps somebody. But it really encouraged me because I was like, just kind of like really stuck, just feeling very stuck. But I was like, I know it can get resolved. I know it can get resolved. It's just, I have to buckle it down, go down there and figure it out. And I did. So let me read some of these comments. Let's see. Hey, Jim, how are you? Simply 7. Yes, encouraging words go a long way. Life is hard, but God is good. Amen. Nothing happens without good reason. Yes, the delay might be saving you. And that's another good point. Like, I know people talk about that. Let me scoot this over. I know people have talked about that, that everything, happens for a reason. And like, sometimes if you have a delay here, it could stop you from getting into an accident or something could, everything has its steps. So I do agree with that. And so I was trying not to, like make the most out of it, but I was just like, I think I was just stuck in my mind. Like, what am I going to do? Like I was more so contemplating too long and not doing the action. I was just like, I don't know how to do it. So I'm just going to sit here and think about it. But you can only think about something for so long and then you have to take action. And I know that to be true. So I was like, you just need to pick a day and just do it. And there happened to be a lot of other things that I had to do to get done. But that day was like the first day where I was like, okay, you have nothing and you need to do it. Hey James, fried frog legs be good eaten when they cooked right. Oh, I don't think I've had that before. Hey Elizabeth, how are you? Prescott, oh awesome, getting over a head cold. Fellow female nomad, oh awesome. Sorry to hear you have a head cold. I think there's like a wave of like colds and flus and stuff going around because a couple friends that I know are sick right now. So I think that's like there's a wave of that going on right now. So hopefully you get, feeling better soon. Yes, Rebecca, and that's what I deduced also was like the solar panels charged up the battery. But the thing that was curious was like that would like we had a few days of like after the snow and that, wore off. We had a few days of rain and it was still cloudy and stuff, but then there was several days of sun. And so I felt like it should have already been charged, but maybe it just took longer. That's the only thing I could think of, But yeah, I agree with you on that. BYLCKAJK. Thank you. Something funky is happening with YouTube. Each time an ad pops up during your live chat and I push skip, it pops me back to the beginning of the live chat. Oh, that's interesting. That's weird. I don't know. There's been some weird things happening with YouTube in general. I think they're changing some things. I don't really know. It's just been kind of weird on YouTube lately. Rebecca, need to open that outlet to check the connections. That's probably a good idea. Yeah, that's a whole thing because the space, it's like I have to crawl under that little space, and it's like consider like if you were like in the Superman pose, right? It's like that's you're like under the fridge is like you have to be like this. So it's like trying to like do it. When we put the outlet in, the fridge and the toilet wasn't there. So now to work on the outlet is not as easy. So yeah, that would be a whole situation. But I just wonder like because the top, like I didn't even check the bottom one. Like I didn't unplug it and plug it back into the same socket. I just unplugged it and plugged it to the top socket. So maybe the bottom one would have worked also, but now I don't want to mess with it because I'm like, it's working. I don't even want to mess with it because I really want to go do something this coming week. So I'm like, okay, now I have my fridge back, the fan is working, the light is working, the battery's working, everything appears to be working, my heater's working. So I'm like, okay, we can do some things. So yeah, I probably do need to check the outlet, but today's not that day. Yes, indeed. Praise the Lord. Hey, Sean Jefferson. Let's hope the Beatles win. The Beatles win the Super Bowl on Sunday. Who's playing? I don't even know who's playing. I think it's the Chiefs and what is it? Chiefs and 49ers, maybe? I don't know. Simply Seven. So happy the van is good. Praise the Lord, indeed. MJ just got over mine. Oh goodness. Well, I'm glad you're getting over it for sure. Grant says, when I first connected to the live stream, YouTube via pop-up felt the need to remind me how to do my job. Oh, how dare they? Grant has been around for a long time and knows exactly what to do. Hey, Kenny from Dallas, Texas. Oh, thanks, Grant. Yeah, Chiefs and 49ers. Okay. I don't know. I would go with 49ers just because I'm from California, but I believe the Chiefs might be a better team, but I really haven't followed this season. I mean, I don't follow any season, but usually about now before the Super Bowl, I have like heard some things and maybe seen like little pockets of other games. So I'm like, oh, okay, I think this, sometimes I feel like I get an idea of who's going to win. Although last year I really thought, I picked a team that it was going to win and then I lost, and me and Tim Ward made a bet and I lost. And now I have PTSD from that. So I don't want to make any bets with anybody this year. And Tim was like trying to get me to do another bet. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Oh, Grant, 49ers are your team? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Like I would probably go with the 49ers and I hope they win, but who knows? Thank you for the heart emojis. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, if you haven't already, put a like on here. And if you happen to be here for the first time and you're not subscribed, what do you know? Also, I'm going to start talking about this on the videos. We are so close to 100K snack packers. And let's push through this. You know, if you got friends and family and they like travel or van stuff or whatever, I mean, now's a good time to share it. You know, I'm really trying to like push for that. That's a goal. Like, that's a personal goal of mine since we're already so close to it. Like, you know, it's never like for me, I've never really been focused on the numbers, but now that it's getting so close, I'm just like, we can do it. You know, let's do it. Let's do it as a team. Like, I know our community can get us over the edge of 100,000 subscribers. So, yeah, I'm very excited just to see, like, you know, the community growing. So yeah, so I was going to tell you something else. I said I had a couple things to talk about, but this is what happens. Like, my brain just is like, oh, I knew I wanted to talk about eating the frog. It made me cry because I was just like so overwhelmed with joy. There was another thing, which I guess it'll come to me as we're talking, but let's see. 2 days ago, I started backing up all of my files on my external hard drives because a few years ago, one of my hard drives crashed and I lost a lot of my stuff. I got a lot of it back too, but so this is your reminder. If you haven't backed up your computer in a while, maybe do that this weekend or whatever. Trying to drink more water. That's another reminder. Dang, what was I going to say? Let's see. Hey, Deidre. Yay, 100K. Jim says 100K is very exciting. You are very loved. Thank you so much. I know we can do it. We're at like what, like 81,000 subscribers, snack packers. So 19,000 is not that much. Like, I mean, it's a lot, but I think we can do it. And I already know the spot I want to put it in the van. So, because YouTube sends you a plaque when you hit it. So I want to put it in the van. And as a reminder of, you know, collectively coming together. Grant says 81.1. Thank you. Girlfriend needs a button. Yes. I need that play button. Have you considered a meetup? A van life for recreation and a meetup at a state park would be fun. I've considered it. I am just trying to like get settled and also get back on the road and like do a lot of things. So also trying to plan a meetup isn't in my scope at this very moment. I'm not opposed to it, but it wouldn't be a right now situation. Also, like, man, it's been a lot. I also want to remind everybody that like we're in such a fast-paced society, and it's like it seems like everybody's doing 52 things at the same time, and I'm just like, man, I'm doing too much, you know? I'm doing too much and I'm also not doing enough. So it's just like kind of a weird feeling, but I'm really trying to like hone in on like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But I do know what I am trying to do is hit 100K. So that's the thing. Hey, D, go Niners. Also, if you guys see the little emojis with the star in the middle, that's our Munch Bunch, our membership, our Travel Snacks Plus membership. So if you'd like to be a member, I think what I'm going to start doing is giving some updates and putting it for the memberships. Also, any video I've ever made that I didn't keep public, it's members only. So, you know, that's that. And also, I think I told this to Grant, but I think when we hit 100 members, I'm going to release my secret vault of my video when I was on a game show. And Grant has seen it. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to give any more details, but it is kind of funny. And that was like from 1996, I think, 96, 97. So uh, I think we have about 30 members right now. So we have a bit of ways to go. But if we hit 100, then I will release it to the memberships. So anyways, if you want to become a member, hit the little $ under the chat. Or if you'd just like to make a donation, you could do that. Cash App, Venmo. It does help, especially now that I got rent and a van and gas and all these things. So when I'm doing my travels, it really does come in handy, any donations. So much appreciated if you feel called. But anyway, if you see those little emojis, those are our snack pack munch bunch members. Dee says, I hear the weather in Texas is nice today versus what it has been. I have been so grateful that it has been nice. Like it's been in the 60s. Hold on a second. I'm just getting text messages. It's been in the 60s, and I'm so happy that I've been able to get out and do my walks again, because that's something that I was doing pretty consistently in Vegas, and it made me feel so good, like mentally and like physically. I was getting out doing like a couple mile walks a day, and it's not the same on the treadmill. So it's been so nice to get walks in again. But I think we're going to be getting rain again soon, which is going to last for a few days, which I love rain. But when you live in a vehicle with solar panels, it's not great. And then it's like it's on your mind because you're like, oh, I've got to keep this battery charged, you know? So, anyways, I do love rain, but, just got to make some other considerations. Hey, Nade Cha, it would have been fun if you were still in Vegas watching your Super Bowl adventures on the Strip. I know. Well, even if I was going to still be in Vegas, I wouldn't have gone on the Strip because it's just too crazy. But, it's okay. I'm okay with that. Hey, Calvin, how are you? Just tuning in. Are you saving for another van by chance? I am not saving for another van. I don't think I will be getting another van. I think when this van is done, then I'm getting a car. Like I've been wanting to get a car, but the funds that I would need, like I do have some money saved, but it's dwindling. So it's like, especially having an apartment and paying like rent and stuff. So it's like, I really got to conserve my money, my funds. So in order to get a car, I really would have to sell my van to use as a down payment, or if I just, finance the whole thing, but then the payments are higher. So it's kind of a bummer. But, I know in a previous video, I was like, I'm never selling this van, but like now that there's like all these things that's been happening to it, I'm like, it is a 21-year-old van. It's still in good shape though, but I don't know, it just got me thinking. So I don't know what the future holds, but I'm not trying to think too far in advance, but I don't think that I'm going to spend a bunch of money on another van because, I think my full-time van life days are over. So I don't want to invest a bunch of money into a new van, but who knows? I might get something like I've really, missed like the scrappiness of being in a car. And so if I got a car, like I could still go and do like car camping. And that actually feels so much less stressful. There's like I said it 100 times, but like there's so many different pros and cons to both living in a van or living in a car or truck or whatever. Because, and I've talked to other nomads. I'm not the only one. I promise you, I'm not the only one. Like a lot of the van lifers that I've talked to, we all agree like, oh, if I had to do it over again, I wouldn't get like a huge water tank. I wouldn't get a shower in my van. I wouldn't get, a lot of things, because the more you have, it's convenient, but you have to think about these things and you got to manage these things and you got to upkeep those things. And so it's great when everything's working perfectly because you have everything you need. I can stand up in my van and like I have a sink and fridge and microwave and stuff. But at the same time, it's like there's a lot that you have to think about. So it makes me feel a little bit like, ooh, like slightly giddy to think about car camping again. So I don't know. I don't know what the future holds, but um, I would certainly probably have a week's worth of crying if I sell my van because I would just really be sad. But at the same time, you know, there's a time and a season for everything. And, maybe it's time to just get some, another car, not right this minute, but, in the future, just to get something that I could just zoom around and just, be more scrappy out in these streets and just do a little more without having so much stress about all the things. Um, ah. Oh, thank you so much. Terry Wood just sent a donation. Thank you so much. $10 donation gift through PayPal. And I appreciate that so much. I got to give you a shout out. Let's see. Let's give you. Thank you so much for the donation. It is truly appreciated. Um, D says, what? Jim says, I still would like to hear your music album be recorded. Oh, that could be another thing that I release from the vault. There's several things I could release. I've done a lot of things in my life. I could share um like some of my old travel videos. I could share like my album, some of my songs, some of my older songs that I never even put on an album. Maybe we'll do levels, like if it's 100 membership members, release the game show footage. And if it's like 200, do this, maybe we get to 1,000, maybe something else. I don't know, but that could be a cool thing that we do. Because I'm really trying to, like, not to take away from the snack pack by any means, but just for those that are supporting the channel, like, with donations and just like, it's so supportive. I really appreciate it. Just to like, kind of give a little something as an appreciation. So I've been really trying to, now that I'm in like, kind of like, I have a base for myself. Uh, I feel a little bit more like, okay, like I can take on a little bit more of like, planning to do more stuff for the memberships and stuff. So if you have any ideas, uh, let me know because I'm open to it. So, that might be something that I could do. Grant says, I've seen it. Yes, definitely. MJ, don't stress to be pressured in doing meetups. Yes. Yeah, I mean, it might be something I'll do in the future, but not right this minute. Brian is that Little Canada, Minnesota? I've never heard of that. Rebecca, I walk on the treadmill. You set it to max incline at a slow pace. Feels like walking uphill. Listen to music or podcast, maybe a hybrid minivan. I've thought about a minivan. I like there's so many different options. There's so many different. I've seen some really cool like SUV type situations where you can fold the seats down, and that seems like a lot of room to me. So that's really great. I love um, the minivan vibe, because you can put a lot in there. And there's different configurations. Um, but I really like, personally, I loved my old car. Like I would love to just get my old car back if I could. They don't make the Kia Optima anymore. They stopped it in 2020. So now it's the K5. But I would not be opposed to getting a K5. But I mean, it's not like the most conducive for car camping. Like even when I had my other car, it wasn't like built for car camping. It was, more like a turbo, but I made it work. So I don't know. Like I haven't decided fully. Like whenever I get to that point where I'm looking for a car, I will, check out a few different options. Um, but as of today, I don't know. But in terms of the treadmill, um, I was getting like when I was, back in Vegas, and if it's too hot, I would go to the gym and I would go on the treadmill. And I was trying to work my way up to do the like really steep incline, but I only got to like a 6 because I was like sweating, and then I would try to do like a 3 speed. So that's really smart. And so, I would prefer to walk outside, but when the weather's weird, I do go on the treadmill, and I am trying to increase that to the incline because, as you're saying, like it's a great workout. It's a great workout. Cheryl, have to run, but so very good to see you, my sweet and much loved Allison, and all my amazing Stackback friends. Have a blessed day. We all have a choice every day. Today, choose to be happy. Oh, amen. I love that. And Cheryl, thank you so much. Cheryl's such an encourager and such a sweetheart. So I appreciate you very much. And Deidre, I have a minivan turned camper. I love it. I really love the minivans. I really do. Like, I think that's such a smart choice. Because there is like extra room, but it's still pretty like zippy, like you can still get around pretty easily. No one's, bothering you. It's just like, kind of like a regular vehicle, but a little bit more roomy. So I do like the minivan. Kenneth, you've been a joy for years now and so much spiritual growth and personal experience. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Nomadic Conqueror. I love that name. Hey there, Travel Snacks. Allison, thank you for being here. D, when you lived in Vegas, did you happen to see a church called Sunrise with Pastor Billy Crone? He was in the cult and now a pastor and on fire for the Lord. He's online in case you want to check him out. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I saw that church. I didn't go to that church, but I don't know. I may have driven by. I don't know. But that's pretty interesting. Simply Seven, thank you. I loved the shout out. Awesome. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, it's always good to come on these live streams. I'm trying to be very cautious about my words. Yeah, let me just think about this for a second. Basically, throughout the summer when I was living in Vegas, I was really in like I don't want to say a dark place, but just a deep depression, like a very sad place. And it gave me a lot of time to think about things. And obviously I was doing too much, being on the road and just trying to do too much. And now it's like I fight myself like mentally, like in my brain. I'm always fighting to strike this balance because I'm always wanting to like be there for other people and serve other people. And, obviously I still need to work and make money, but it's like I have so many ideas that I need to calm down, So I find myself going, oh, like I want to do this, like I want to do a meetup and I want to do a Facebook group and I want to do this and I want to go here and do that and all these things. But it's like I always have to reel it in. And so now I've been really trying to tame my tongue and not just overpromise things and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do a video on this. And I'm going to do this. And I'm going to, because I was about to say is like, I'm going to be doing more live streams. And instead of just saying it, just do it, like just do the thing. And so, anyway, hopefully I will do more live streams. But I just need to like, now that I'm, having this base apartment, I feel like a little bit more stable and I can start planning things and doing, just doing things more consistently is what I'm trying to say. Hey, Cindy from Tennessee. You have been binge watching the car videos. Oh, awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, the car videos, I mean, I'm serious. Like I miss, being in the car, but I also think like it was a different time because that was before the pandemic and it felt like more free out there, like traveling. Now there's a lot, it feels a lot different out there. There's a lot more people doing it. And so a lot more people are like not really happy about that. And a lot more things have been closed down. A lot of rest stops have closed down and like a lot of touristy things have closed down. So it is different now. But hopefully it gets back to like a better place. I don't know if it will. I still think van life is great. I still think living in a vehicle is a great short-term situation. Personally, I don't think it's like a long-term solution, but I am only one person with one opinion. And I know there's lots of nomads that do it for many years, sometimes till they die. So this is just my experience and my thoughts, but there's so much to be done and explored in this world that I just encourage people just to to be adventurous and give things a try, because, you know, you're gonna look up and you're gonna be 90 years old and be like, I didn't do anything. It's like, you better do it now, because, you know, it's moving. The train is moving. Jim says, I suggest doing what the Lord leads you to do. Amen. And I'm really trying to listen to that as well. Oh, Grant missing the field trips. I know I need to get back on these field trips, especially now that I'm in Texas. There's so much to explore. There's so much to see. I haven't really been, going to a lot of places because I've just been really trying to get established here and try to figure out where I'm at. But now I just feel like, okay, things are fixed and things are good. And like, I'm like, all right, okay, it's it's going okay. Like, it's going all right. Um, so yeah, I even turned on my dating apps, and then it hasn't gone so great. I've already gotten some, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think there's some really good people out there, some really good dudes. I don't know what is wrong with certain dudes, but like, I don't know, like one of the first people I matched with, and I exchanged numbers, and like, I never sexual. Like, I never bring up any kind of sexual innuendos. I'm very like calm, plain Jane, and like, we exchanged numbers, and one of the first things he sent was like a little video of him laying on the couch, and he was like laying on the couch, and then he was like, and I was like, no, thank you. So he was like winking and blowing a kiss, and I'm like, ew. I've never met this person. I've never even talked to this person on the phone. Why? Why? Why would you do that? It was like, just like, and so I wrote back, I was like, oh no, I'm not into it. And I was like, I wish you the best. And I blocked. But I'm not a quick blocker. I'm always like, give people the benefit of the doubt, or just like, not be rude. But I was just like, no, I can't do it. And then literally the same day, I matched with another guy, and we exchanged numbers, and it was kind of later in the night, and I was like, well, hey, like, I'm about to go to bed, but let's chat tomorrow. And he sends a picture of himself. Listen, this dude was hot. Okay. I was like, dude, but I was like, I'm going to bed. Let's chat tomorrow. And he sends a picture, like, no shirt, laying on his bed, all tatted up, and just like laying like this, and just like looking at the camera, like, big chest muscles and stuff. Now, listen, hot body, but also, to me, that grosses me out, because I'm like, either you just took that picture of yourself, like, are you feeling yourself that much that you would just like snap a picture, like a selfie, just like in your bed, when I didn't even ask for that, or have not made any like anything to that, or you just have that in your phone, and that's just like your calling card to people, like to women, like you match with them, and then you just send that because you think your body's so hot that that's the only thing that a girl could want. And like, it actually grosses me out. It's just like, how many women are you sending that to? Who does that work with? And the woman that's working with is the one that's desperate, or the one that's just like trying to, be like, I could be like a man too, and just like get sex or whatever. It's like, that's not me. I'm not that person. So I was like, no, thank you. And I'm like, I wish you the best on your dating journey, but I'm not the one. So he was a block. So I blocked two people in the same day. That's like a major for me. So I don't know, man. I don't know. And then like, I've matched with a couple other guys where we exchanged numbers, and like, I almost made it to a date with this dude, but he started with the like innuendos, and he was just like, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I was like, I just couldn't do it. He started saying like weird jokes that was like kind of sexual in nature, and just a little crass. And listen, I'm not easily offended, but it's like, if you've never met somebody before, you've never, like, you don't know them, you don't know their humor, you don't know anything, you don't start there. You don't start with that. Like, you ease in, you get to know somebody, and you make a little joke, and I was just like, some of the stuff that he was saying, like leading right up to the date, I was just like getting more and more like, ugh. And so I called my friend who's a relationship coach and I was like, am I going on this date? And she's like, well, tell me what happened. And I told her, she's like, absolutely not. Block this dude right now. And I was like, yeah, but like, I'm trying to dip my toe into the dating waters because I haven't gone on a date in like 2 years. And I was thinking it's like kind of similar to like, when you go out on job interviews, like sometimes you just go, even though it maybe not be the right job for you, but you just try to get your interview chops up. And she's like, no, it doesn't work like that in dating because you're going to go on this date. He's going to be looking at your boobs or your butt. He's going to be saying crass things. And then you got to like combat that and be like, ugh, and try to be, and she knows that I'm nice. And she's like, then you're going to be like, you know, just like trying to be nice, but he's going to be gross. And she's like, don't even waste your gas, Plus he was like trying to get me to drive like 40 minutes to his area. And I'm like, we can't meet halfway. Like you can't chill. So anyways, it's just been kind of like that. And I'm just like, this is kind of a bummer, but I haven't given up hope. I know that there's good dudes out there. And God will send whoever is meant for me. So just had to get that off my chest to my snack pack friends. Let's see. Cindy says, have you got any furniture in your apartment? I have some, wait, which direction am I? I have some, nope, wrong direction. I have some bar stools. I got those off of Amazon. And then I need to go get a couch. I got a couch, but it's not the right couch. It wasn't comfortable, so I'm going to get a different couch. And then I brought my bed frame from Vegas, but I had to get a new mattress when I got here. So, and I got this office chair, but also I don't know what it is, man. I'm telling you, it's been like stressful. I got this office chair off of Facebook Marketplace. It was $15. So I went and got it from some lady, but I didn't realize it's an executive chair. So the seat is like wider, like not wider, like from my butt to the front is like longer. So like I'm sitting and there's a gap between my back and the seat. So I'm like now, but then if I'm leaning back, it's like I'm leaning back too far. So I can't really go on the desk. So I need a chair that's more appropriate. That's not for like men. And so I just didn't realize it. So now I haven't even worried about it. I'm like, you know what? I have a chair. I don't need to worry about, I could work at this desk. This apartment has a built-in, like I'm sitting at this, like it's a built-in desk into the wall. So I just needed a chair. So it was $15, super cheap. And so I'll deal with that another day, but at least I have a chair. So that's the only furniture I really have. Cindy says, that's a little much. Yes, it was a little much. Calvin says, I hope the Lord sends you a good dude that walks with you in your spiritual journey. Me too. Me too. Grant, aren't there any Christian dating apps? Yeah, I am on it. It's called Upward. It's a Christian dating app, but I think because it's not one of the top, the top ones are Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, maybe Plenty of Fish, because that's been around for 100 years. But those are the top dating apps. So I don't think a lot of people know about Upward. And so the pool of people isn't as big. So like I already swiped through all the people in my radius, and then it's starting to send me to people like 150 miles away. And I'm like, I mean, if it was the right guy, but I'm not really trying to be in a long distance relationship. So, I've kind of swept through those around me. So, hopefully more people will go on that dating app, but I don't know. Cindy says, dating is awful this day and time. I mean, it's feeling pretty bleak. 77, haha. My office manager went on a blind date, and after that, they went back to his place, and he pulled out a set of plastic army men toys and started playing with them. We laughed a lot about that. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, there's some like really, truly strange experiences in people. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do like these bar stools. They were like the most inexpensive ones on Amazon because like I have the kitchen island is pretty big and I don't have it like the room is like pretty like it's more narrow. So I don't have I don't want to put a table and chairs in the middle of the room. So it's like more of an open concept. So I wanted to just use bar stools as like the table chairs. I did put a pillow behind me on the chair, but it's like a pretty big gap. Like I put my actual like pillow, like my memory foam pillow, but it's like I even ordered a couple like of those ones that, strap onto the back like a cushion, but it was just I don't know. It's like a whole lot of extra things just to sit in this chair. So I'm like, am I really trying to figure this chair out for, instead of just going to buy a better chair? So, for now I have been using the pillow, but today I just forgot. But it is, I mean, it's like this fake leathery, it's nice. Maybe I will. I don't know. Hey, Gracie, how are you? Oh no, Gracie, you went to Farmers Only. I was separated. I felt like a piece of me. Oh no. Oh no. Maribel says Christian dating apps aren't any good either. I mean, I would concur with that. Like, I agree. Like, I've been on Christian Mingle before, and even on Upward. I will say that Upward is better than Christian Mingle. Like when I was on Christian Mingle before, it was the same dudes acting the same way, had no moral values. Like they were just like, I claim to be a Christian, but I'm just going to still talk to you like crazy. With Upward, I have matched with a couple dudes, not here in Texas, but in other states. And they had good, like they were more calm, more nice. But I think it was probably like a distance issue, probably when I was traveling or whatever. So I don't know. Like I think the best bet and the better bet is to, find somebody out doing things I enjoy doing and they're out doing the same things that they enjoy. And so you're both enjoying the same things like church or like events or something like that. So, I just need to like be out doing more things. So, I think that's the route I'm gonna, more look forward to meeting people instead of the dating apps. I'll still be on there, but it's just kind of a bummer, Jim says there's a lot of catfish on the dating sites too. I like fish, but not that kind. I gave up on the dating sites. I actually, a couple of the dudes I matched with that were decent, like they said they've been catfished, So it's just like, I mean, the guys get, the same terrible treatment as well. So it's just kind of weird. Maribel says, I made a couple of friends off of Cupid. Oh, I forgot about that. Was that Hello Cupid or Okay Cupid? I forgot about that app. I don't even have that one. I have to meet the person in real life. Me too. Like I try to get like, I have like a 3-step process. Like, well, it's like kind of a 4-step. So it's like match on the app, chat a little bit there, exchange numbers, chat a little bit on there, talk on the phone. And then, and only then, we can make plans to meet. But I want that to be like a pretty quick span of time because I'm not trying to be a texting pen pal for like a week. So I like to talk on the phone first because you can get to know a lot about somebody just by talking to them. And a lot of the times, and don't get me wrong, listen, I do cuss. Like I don't cuss a lot, but I do cuss. Grant can attest to that. But I don't cuss on my channel, but I'm not like, I'm a fun person. Like I don't like, I'm not like, oh my gosh, don't ever say anything on my virgin ears. Like, occasionally, cuss word slips out. But like when I first talk to somebody, I don't cuss because I don't know how they feel about that or, whatever. I don't know. I just don't know. I try to be respectful. And a lot of times I'll get on the phone with a dude and he'll just be cussing up a storm. And I'm like, you cuss like that around a lady? Like, I don't know. I know people are who they are. And like, I'm not trying to change anybody. But it's like, if you go to a job, and you first start and you meet your boss and stuff, you're not going to talk like that. So you're capable of not cussing around a woman. but you like get on this phone and you're just like, oh, F this, and like this A and, S and all. It's like, you can't restrain yourself enough to just talk like a normal person. And then when we get to know each other, let her rip, let your hair down, whatever. But I just find it's like a lack of respect when you first talk to somebody, that you just show courtesies. Thank you for the heart emojis. That's just my personal opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but I just think, when you're on the phone, or sometimes people just don't make sense, or they reference something that you're like, oh no, like this one guy, he was like, oh yeah, I love listening to Howard Stern. And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, I think Howard Stern's gross and crass and disgusting. And I'm like, that tells me a lot about your character. If you listen to Howard Stern, don't come for me. Like, enjoy what you enjoy. I don't care. You do what you want to do. I personally just think he's too over the top for me. And I would not date somebody. I wouldn't want that to be my partner, that somebody that enjoys his kind of humor. Enjoy it. I don't care if people enjoy it, but my partner, I wouldn't want to be around that person and they're like listening to that, because I don't want to hear it. So you can learn a lot by talking on the phone with somebody first, and just listening. People say a lot, even when they're not saying anything. So I'm a good listener. So I really listen. So anyways, it's pretty crazy. And I do like to meet people in real life too. Jeff says, hearing you on the dating, pray on it. Yes, indeed. Yes. Gracie, do what you do and maybe God will put someone in your path. Yes, hopefully. Grant says, I can attest. Maribel, I have a van that I am trying to figure out what to do. My late husband did expediting and mission. I was so happy to be with the best husband. Oh, that's hard. That's really hard. I definitely feel for you. It's hard. Sometimes you have to make hard decisions. But, just take it one step at a time. Like, even baby steps, just like try to make the best move possible, because like sometimes like you'll get stuck in this like analysis paralysis is what they call it, where you're just like, I don't know what to do. And sometimes you just have to do one thing, because sometimes it's not black and white. Sometimes it's not like there's 4 paths and it's like sometimes one just doesn't jump out at you and you're just like, I could go on any of these paths. Sometimes you just got to pick one. And if it's the wrong one, circle back and try another one, and I don't know, it's hard, but you can do it and you can make different choices. Mountain Wanderer, hey, I'm late, but I'm here. Glad to have you. Maribel says, you want to feel proud of them. Yes. Like, yeah, I want to feel proud of my partner, and, vice versa. And, like when I'm in a relationship, I'm super comfortable and jokey and sarcastic and, just myself. But I don't know, when you first meet, it's just like, just showing that little bit of character, your character of who you are and the values you hold to, it really says a lot. So anyways, I forgot the other thing I was going to tell you. Like, it's bugging me, but I just cannot remember what it was. And I just don't know. Like, I just don't know. I'm really trying to think about what it was. But anyways, well, that's okay, because I'm sure it's going to come to me as soon as we end this live stream, and then I'll have something else to say, for the next live stream. I don't know what it was. Well, anyways, we're going to wrap it up. And I'm really glad that I was able to come on and talk with you guys. And I don't know if I'll have a video this week, to be honest, because it's already Thursday. And tomorrow I have things to do. I also was talking about this. This isn't what I was going to talk about, but I'll just mention it here. Is like, on the last couple of videos, I was saying that I've opened up my coaching practice again. And if you need somebody to just listen and help you sort out some things, the coaching practice is open. I'm only taking a couple more clients because I already had a couple people sign up. So that's exciting. I'm super excited to get that back going. and it's exciting to talk to people and just to hear what they're going through and just to like guide them. So that's been really encouraging. But I'm only going to take a couple more because I don't want to get too overwhelmed because I would like to give my full attention to whoever I'm coaching. So that's been exciting to be able to offer that again. And it's work I really enjoy. So that's been really cool. So, anyways, well, I guess that's it. I am just trying to look around to like think about like what was I going to tell you, but I just don't remember. So I guess we'll just wrap it up for tonight and you know start again pretty soon. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. I hope you have a great weekend. And if somebody hasn't told you, you are loved and important and valuable. And if you're feeling low, just know that, you really are loved. And don't let fake lies get in your head that you're like not worth anything or that you've made too many mistakes or, anything, you can always turn it around. Even if it takes a while to like change things, you can, and you can do hard things. So I just want you to know that I love you and I hope that you believe that you are loved. So thank you guys for joining me on this Thursday evening. And until next time, bye for now. See you guys.